6,140 pounds as you see it here right now. We're actually going to get to see this one two ways. First in what we call the Halet Standard Series, and then in more detail we'll see it in Halet Loaded Black Label. This is a 26 DBH Grey Wolf, which roughly stands for David Bavid Havid. It is a double over double bunkhouse, half-ton towable, big super slide, direct entry bathroom, camp kitchen, partridge in a pear tree. It is a lot of trailer, a lot of feature, a lot of value all wrapped up into this box. So as I mentioned, we're going to get to see this one two ways. However, the Standard Series and the Black Label interiors are virtually identical. There's only really two differences you can even pick up on. The first of which is that you'll see the Black Label has a little bit different color cushion on the dinette, and they've got a solid surface countertop in the kitchen, whereas this still has a sealed edge pressed membrane all over, and they look super, super similar. You know, which one is better? Well, it just depends on what you're looking for out of it, because they both do all the main big things very, very well. By the way, you'll get to see how they look with the slide closed and travel access in our Black Label tour. That's where we're going to see it in more detail. This is really just to kind of give you an idea of what we call the Halet Standard Series is going to look like. And you'll probably hear me repeat myself a little bit over the two, because they're not being shot necessarily back to back. Like, we're still getting that, you know, hidden one control integrated into our control panel. You see that big 10.7 cubic foot 12 volt refrigerator over there. It's that, plus we have a little mini fridge outside. So this thing has roughly about 13 cubic foot of total cold storage. And floor plan elements like this big, awesome linen cabinet, those won't change. Most of the Black Label enhancements are actually exterior items. Like you can see here in the Standard Series, we're still getting that nice big vent fan. We've got the skylight above the shower surround paneling there, foot flush toilet, and of course a deadbolt door for the bathroom. And just like the kitchen, you'll see sealed edge countertops throughout the entirety of the RV. Neat little thing is that little light right there is not only a neat little night light, but it's also a motion sensor that will automatically flick on our overhead cabin lights for us here in the bathroom area. Very handy. Just like Black Label, again, they don't scale down features and amenities. We've got household and USB plugs, household and USB plugs all over these bunks. So, you know, you can always get some good rainy day charging function. They both have those handy zebra shades. I don't remember if I showed those in the Black Label or not, so I thought, hey, I'll go ahead and pull those down. If you're not a fan of the blue light, Labatt blue light, well, you can just flick it off. There's just a separate switch where you can turn that thing off. They will both have the sliding pocket privacy doors for the master bedroom. You're not looking at curtains in either regard. They have the exact same amount of kitchen cabinetry and space. Both have that handy fireplace. The black stainless skirted sink, which just looks good. And I like that handy little clutter cut and shoe garage right by the door. Going past our privacy doors, coming up front here, getting a little look at my chicken legs. You can see they both have that big viewing window. And you have dual mirrored hanging closets, and on both sides of the camper, you'll find that they have household and USB plugs. And if you notice, anywhere that you can sit and sleep, you got USBs in these things. It's, like I said, very much the exterior of the RV where the difference between a Standard Series and a Loaded Black Label are going to come into play. This has your conventional corrugated siding, although both trailers have the exact same skeletal construction. When you go Black Label, you're not magically changing the sidewalls to aluminum. That is a common misunderstanding, because most of the time, like here's a good example, here's a Grey Wolf Black Label. That is not an aluminum skeleton trailer, whereas, say, that J-Feather back there is. Most of the time when you see fiberglass, you immediately think, oh, that must be laminated, it must be aluminum skeleton. That's not always the case. That's one of the reasons that a Black Label version will actually weigh more than this Halet Standard Series that you see right here. This is kind of what, I mean, this is already pretty darn loaded. It's pretty smartly equipped. Like, you got the power tongue jack, the tanks are enclosed, you saw all the LED lighting, even, like I said, the remote control functions where you can sync your phone to the camper to be able to operate some lights, awning, slides. It's still slide awning ready, still has the cargo rack on the back there. All of the things that really matter, all the things you're going to use, see, feel, want for every single camping trip, they're all here. It's just that the Black Label does it shinier, or potentially a little easier in some regards, depending on the options that are applied to it. That cargo rack, by the way, 200-pound rated, And that is before you put the spare tire on, so just kind of keep that in mind. You don't need to take the spare tire off to flip that down, though. That's another one of those kind of things people don't always realize. And we are rear camera ready on both of those. It does look like, since the time that I recorded the Black Label footage you're about to see, there has been a little tiny change on the outside. I don't remember if it was on the Black Labels or not. It still has this cool, like, 10 pounds of sugar in a 5-pound sack mini camp kitchen over here. You see you got your mini fridge, ice maker, and basically as long as you got water and you got power, that thing cranks out ice like crazy. It's really impressive, actually. This is kind of doubling as to fill the ice maker for water, or almost acting like our sink, but it's a second camp shower. But what I wanted to point out is I think they've updated the little grill system that you see on here compared to the Black Label version that you're about to see. So, here's what I always want to know. Which way do you folks like it? The standard series, it'll save you some weight, it'll save you some money, and get you really all the essentials and then some to go have a great family weekend. The Black Label series is going to give you all the eye appeal you ever wanted. It's going to weigh a little more, cost a little more, have a couple more features. I don't think either is the wrong choice. I'd just kind of be curious to know, which way would you take your Grey Wolf? Let us know here at Haylett RV. This one rolled in here today at 6,100 pounds, a Grey Wolf 26 DBH here at Haylett RV. Keep in mind that weight, though, includes some things that can add some extra pounds and dollars to the RV, like that beautiful Black Label package and the Power Corner stabilizer jacks, as well as the solar package. We like to build these a couple different ways here at Haylett RV, one a little fancier, one a little simpler. We'll try to get you footage of both ways as it becomes available. So the idea behind this one is good looking, half-ton towability with push-button simplicity on like all of your awnings and jacks and everything else, with the ability to do some extended off-grid camping with the solar package, as well as the new 12-volt refrigerators now available in these Grey Wolf RVs. This is an awesome, I don't care if it's going to be your first family camper or last family camper, it gets the job done well. This RV has a lot of great qualities. As we go through, you can you make little shopper's checklists, and one of the trends, one of the things I've always kind of felt on this floor plan is it just checks the boxes, and one of those is travel accessibility. The way that they have this laid out with the super slide closed, we can obviously completely navigate the RV. You can access, I believe, literally every single ounce of storage. The only thing that you kind of lose out on is just the ability to utilize that ladder to the bunk when in transit. But if that's the worst this one has to offer, then overall, I'd say it passes the turtle test with flying colors. And even though you don't necessarily need the slide out to use this one, you're gonna be pretty glad you got it, because man, does it open up in here. This super slide gives you tons of room. It also gives you these huge windows right here, and they both open for max airflow. But the one thing they don't do very well is play nice with the camera, which is why I've pulled down one of those shades there. And these are these, I love these things. I call them hypno shades. I guess the word for them is zebra shades, but these things are awesome. You can get as much light, as little light. You can get like a partial, you know how like in your car, how you'll tilt down the sun visor to that sweet spot? You can kind of do the same thing with those. And if it is screaming hot outside, those things do an ace job of getting the sunlight out of here. Now, a couple things to note. We are looking at a Black Label edition today, as I've mentioned a few times previous. It will make two significant, obvious changes inside. The first of which is the decor changes slightly. You can see how the dinette fabrics actually lighten up a little bit, and I think both decors look great. I think that's a very minor thing. The one thing I think most folks will consider more of a major change is the shift from a sealed edge thermal foil counter, as you find in any Cherokee or Grey Wolf product, to the solid surface counters with a split sink cover here in the Black Label variety. Other than that, everything inside is largely the same. It's the exterior, it's really the curb appeal that you're getting out of that Black Label, that easy cleaning, smoother skin. Accent light above the slide makes for a perfect little night light. You've got a skylight above the kitchen area, which also has a sunshade. And you might notice the shades wiggling a little bit. You might see some shadows moving above that slide out. Our quality control check-in team is actually on top of the RV inspecting the roof now before we accept the RV from the manufacturer. We are very proactive in our quality controls here at Haylett RV. And then after it's gone through its surface inspection, we will pull it into the shop It goes through a like a full appliance burn, basically, where we run everything, and then before you take it home, we do all that again. We do everything we reasonably can to make sure something's in good working order. We mentioned the kitchen, Black Label gives us the solid surface countertops. We'll see the kitchen in more detail in a minute, but while we're moving this direction, I do want to point out the new standard 12-volt compressor fridge. It is 10.7 cubic foot, plus the fridge outside. This RV, this half-ton towable bunkhouse, has the same level of fridge capacity as like a 3/4 ton fifth wheel. It's absolutely awesome. Those things, they cool crazy fast. Like, we're 54 minutes from where the RV manufacturers ship these things, and that thing is ice cold. You can throw ice cream in there, not going to have a problem. We also tend to build our Cherokee products, whether it's Black Label or not, with their solar package. And if you can't see the panel from ground level, the dead giveaway is that battery disconnect and the battery volt monitor right there. You can actually see the voltage coming off the battery to know basically how much gas you got left in your electrical tank, if that makes sense. Another thing this RV does really well is some big time easy access storage. And the first place you see that is right here on these dinette drawers. For several seasons, this is what the Cherokee and Grey Wolf families have been doing to a well-received audience. Not having to tear apart the dinette to get to those big, like, 40-inch extension drawers. Very, very nice. You also see it's a 5/8 plywood. That is what we're walking on here, is a 5/8 tongue and groove plywood floor deck. Now, as we're walking over to this huge pantry, I want to point out the centralized air system that we have here. Not every trailer in this class will have that. Most will. But I do want to point out that some won't. Now, neat thing here is you can control all of our lights individually. And on a trailer like this, where we have a solar package, where we have a 12-volt fridge, where we're worried about off-grid function, I think it's really important to note that you can control your lights individually so that you can control your power consumption. That's a really key factor. And again, like I said, we have a massive refrigerator over here. I think it's bigger, pardon me, we have a massive pantry that's bigger than the refrigerator. That's what I meant to say. And I'm seeing more and more brands kind of tie into this, but once again, Cherokee was kind of the trendsetter in this regard. Now, taking a look at the bunks before we hit up the bathroom, notice that there's lights and individual outlets, individual curtains for each of the beds. Another thing I want to point out is that even with this dining drawer out here, it's not like fighting with the ladder. So the ladder is always kind of easy access sort of situation. Now here in the bathroom, watch that light. Now I'm not, I didn't touch it. There's a motion sensor in here, so it's kind of like, I call it the Starship Enterprise lighting system. It will kick itself on as you come in. And that's what this little guy right there is. That is its own little kind of like bathroom nightlight, but it is also like the ceiling activation switch, the motion sensor. And just like in the living room, if you don't want all the lights to kick on, you can control those individually. Another really sharp feature in this series of camper is that bigger ceiling vent fan here in the bathroom. It gives you better humidity control, but since the bathroom entry door itself is slotted, you see how the door doesn't go all the way to the roof line right there? That is by intention, so that if you just have your side breeze windows open, but you want to maintain some bathroom privacy, it can actually help pull fresh air in through the side breeze windows and exhaust hot, humid air here in the bathroom area. Of course, a shower surround panel and a skylight. Again, those are things not always found in this class. Foot flush stool, and here's a good look at the sealed edge countertops. You'll find this here in the bathroom, in the dining table, and the entertainment center. You also see it has a huge sink right there so that adult hands can actually fit into it. Then there's the little touches like an actual angle mounted vanity here in the bathroom so that you can actually stand in the bathroom to do whatever it is you need to do. And in case you're curious, if like a bathroom entry door has been in the RV industry since about 2010 now, and it existed a little bit before that, but mainstream it started in 2010, and sometimes I can tell if someone's a first-time looker because they're like, there's a door to the bathroom, that's weird. Remember, it has a deadbolt, so you have security. Also, this will cut down drastically on the amount of dirt and foot traffic getting tracked through the RV, which is another thing Grey Wolf campers do well. Their main decking, it's all ventless flooring, so it is very easy to clean. It's worth noting that both of the seating areas within that super slide will also fold down into sleepers. The U-dinette specifically, I like to point out because it's what I call true U-dinette. It's about 7 foot long. I think it's like 44 inches deep, something like that. It is large. If you have an adult you need to sleep or a big kid, you're not relegated to just the bunks, and that's kind of one of the cool things about this. You might peek on the right side of that entertainment center. I left a little sliver of that sliding pocket privacy door there, so it's not just curtains giving you privacy up to the front bedroom. Should you choose to add a TV, the same TV bracket that is included for the front area there can be utilized to float a TV that you add to the RV outside if you're so inclined, so one screen can actually service multiple areas. You see that little handy clutter-cutting shoe garage below the electric space heating fireplace right there, which you can utilize for electric heat without burning up your propane, but also, if you want to, you can use it for heatless LED visuals only. We kind of looked at the skylight above, but I want to take a second to open up the cabinetry here in the kitchen so you can see the storage space. And I like to begin by pointing out the fact that you have a full depth overhead cabinet. Like, if you note the line from the microwave across, it doesn't sink back. You can also see how there's great lighting here in the kitchen area. They used to call it the Cherokee Super Kitchen. They kind of phased that name out for some reason, even though they never changed anything. Basically, it's well lit, has good prep space, and you can see how I've pulled that split solid surface sink counter off of there, and you get a good look at that just really modern, awesome looking black stainless farm sink below that high-rise spring-loaded sprayer faucet. Tons of outlets right behind that for easy access. But you know something I kind of thought about? If you pop those sink covers off, you set them over here next to the stove, congratulations! You've got basically a free built-in side splash beside that stove that is going to be very easy to wipe down and clean. Maybe that wasn't their intention, but that doesn't mean it can't be their function. Space for a wastebasket below the sink and 2 larger drawers versus 2 or 3 small ones. Kind of really handy if you've got some big awkward shaped stuff like spatulas that can get caught up in things. Now the entertainment center over here is simple but expandable. It's Bluetooth and stereo. If you want, though, you could add HDMI appliances to it, like a Blu-ray player, Amazon Fire Stick, something to that extent. Up front here, the front bedroom is simple but effective. It gets the job done, and I like how there's household and USB plugs on both sides of the bed. Extra large viewing window over here beside the bed on the camp side. I call that kind of the kiddo overlook window there. And a full cabinet above the bed instead of just shelves. You can set stuff on a shelf when you get there, but you can pack stuff in a cabinet on the way. And below that front bed, we have a large cavity, great for all sorts of different totes, lawn chairs, sorts of things. I also like how they had a little bit of under bed support up there so that it doesn't kind of sink in the middle of you. Another neat little Cherokee thing is any sort of exposed woodwork right around the actual baggage door, they really slap hard with an anti-wicking material to make sure that's not going to rot out over time. Big door makes it easy to get big cargo in and out, especially handy if you're going to utilize that side solar prep that just popped into the upper right view, if you want to put a little solar suitcase there. If you are going to do some extended off-grid camping, I just can't recommend that enough. And this is available whether it is Black Label or not. We like to package with the Black Label edition those power corner stabilizer jacks that you saw right there to really kind of just finish off and like a little cherry on top, dress the package up. So not only does it look good, but everything's a little bit simpler and easier. Speaking of simpler and easier, cleaning this thing. The smooth skin on this, that gel coat part of the Black Label package, it doesn't just look good, it cleans easier. It also, even though it weighs a little more, we've had a lot of customers report smooth skin trailers, even at higher weights, will tow better than corrugated skin trailers due to the lesser wind resistance. You have reduced wind drag, basically. And when you're just kind of going around town at 30, 35 miles an hour, you'll never notice a difference. It's when you get out on the highways, when you get hit by those headwinds, that's when you notice the less surface area on the smooth skin packages. Also, interestingly, the front skin on this is still a painted aluminum. They just do an awesome job of blending the colors and the decals together to really kind of give it one like Platinum Series cohesive look. They do just an ace job of it, I think. Another thing that's coming into the Black Label edition are these frameless windows right here. So they're adding tint to keep the sun down, to keep the neighbors out. But no matter which edition you're looking at, you'll always get these handy seal gripping slide walls that you see right there. Also, You'll find that Cherokee and Grey Wolf products have enclosed holding tanks to give you that extra protection, whether it's road debris or critters or whatnot, just to kind of keep those suckers from being, you know, too easy to see and too easy for debris to catch if it gets flung off the tires. On the back side of that slide, we have our centralized hookup area, complete with a full outside shower, which is interesting because we'll basically see a second one of those over on the campsite of the RV for a quick little campsite cleanup. This design also allows for full storage capacity below that rear double bed. And I've never heard anybody ever say, I don't want this camper anymore, it has too much storage, it's time to get rid of it. Another thing that goes along with the Black Label series is the magnet holdbacks on our baggage doors, so that everything is now just simple, one hand easy. As we back up here, all of these will have that 200-pound rated rear cargo rack. However, the ladder that we're looking at is actually another optional piece of equipment we like to bundle together with the Black Label edition. Once again, the idea being, do you want the Black Label Luxury or the more standardized Simple series? As you saw, you do not need to necessarily fold the ladder up out of the way to be able to utilize that 200-pound rated rear cargo tray. And what's also cool is you don't have to take the spare tire off to drop that down. They really made it so that this is kind of as simple, or I suppose as complicated as you would want it to be, though I don't know why anyone would want anything to be complicated. Though, of course, you can obviously just fold them both up out of the way. So the question then, why does the ladder fold if it doesn't have to? Well, it depends on what cargo you're putting on that rear traveling rack. If you want to put a couple bicycles or something on there, maybe the ladder is kind of interfering with your ability to strap that stuff down. So the idea being, they let you always make sure that you can utilize the ladder or the rack or whatever works best for you. This does have a walkable roof. We'll actually get up there in a few minutes to kind of check that out. We're backup camera ready. All LED tail and marker lights as well. As we kind of talked about inside, it does have a direct entry bathroom door, which to first-time shoppers seems a little weird. But when you realize that you have both outside access to a bathroom and a refrigerator and a sink, there's not a whole lot of reason to have the kids trucking in and out of this thing all day, and it really cuts down on the traffic, foot traffic and dirt, you know, getting caught into the camper. The pet leash latch back here, obviously intended probably for pets, but also kind of handy for maybe keeping bicycles and lawn chairs kind of strapped down in case you're in a windy place. The Black Label package also swaps from, frankly, an already good-looking set of mag wheels to just another good-looking set of aluminum wheels. But no matter what edition you're looking at, you'll get the handy little tire pressure indicators on your valve stems. So if that thing flips from green to red, red means stop, put some air in the tires. It's just kind of that simple. Now over here under the awning, we have outside TV hookups that match up with our inside TV hookups. So if you choose to add a TV to the camper, one screen can actually float in multiple locations. And it's this feature right here that I think has helped this floor plan continue to be just incredibly successful and relevant, is the little kind of miniaturized camp kitchen, kitchenette, whatever you want to call it over here. Has that slide open stovetop and sink, the fridge and ice maker, and a, like I said, basically what is a second outside shower that's kind of acting as our faucet. But all of these things right here, they combine this into a section of space under the kitchen counter that you can't really easily utilize inside. So instead they made it super functional outside. Even if it's just the ice maker and the fridge, you are going to find tons of use for this feature on a regular basis. Of that I feel very confident. The stable steps, Cherokee was the first in this class to standardize that and continues to lead the way with their innovations and like their solar package, you know. They're the first in their class to standardize something like that. It's not an accident. Cherokee's become one of the largest selling and depending on how you boil down the math, the largest single group of campers out there in the marketplace today. It's terribly impressive how much they've grown, how well they've done, and the way that they've maintained their quality control through that growth. And to me, that's frankly the more impressive part. And if we utilize that optional rear ladder that we've added to our Black Label series here at Haylett RV, a couple things. First of all, the polar white roof membrane will drastically cut down the amount of heat this RV generates. Another thing is they're using all white roof fixtures, and where that's really important is the air conditioner, because if the air conditioner had a black shroud, it would still work. It would work okay. It would work just fine probably, but the fact is with a white shroud it absorbs less heat and our air conditioner has to work
less hard, if that makes sense. Basically, it'll just probably last you longer because you're not burning your candle at both ends. The other thing here is this is a good look at what they call the Juice Pack, which is their solar package available on Cherokee RVs. As I mentioned, inside we apply this, whether it's Black Label or not, to pretty much every Cherokee, Gray Wolf, Wolf Pup, Wolf Pack we can get our hands on. Anything from that family and extended family of Cherokee RVs. They've become a huge group over there. But this is a simple solar package designed to give you extended weekend camping on a 12-volt source, basically, while running that 12-volt refrigerator. This is not the be-all, end-all of solar. What this will do, according to Cherokee's data, and I have their spec sheets, we're happy to send you a copy of this if you would like. You can run that 12-volt fridge for 55 hours per battery off this solar system. Now, obviously, that's a little weather dependent, but the fact is that's a fair amount of time. You add a second battery, you've got a good extended weekend. If you add a portable side mount solar prep package, you're effectively pretty much indefinitely camp capable. And there's our quality check-in team making sure the awning motor and everything's in good shape. We check the fabrics. We do everything we can to try to make sure these things are in good working order before you ever have to take possession of one. We do everything we reasonably can. So short of that, guys, remember that we don't do hidden dealer fees at Haylett RV, but we do everything else, whether it's hitching pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything between. Give us a call. We do it all. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.